It's okay. So yesterday I shared video related to noisy channel and noiseless channel and protocols at data link layer. What are the exact protocols at data link layer, right? So today I'll start with noisy channel protocol. Yesterday I discussed two protocol, or in previous video I discussed two protocol. First one was uh, stop and wait, and second one was simple flow control. In simple flow control, what we are doing, simply we are keeping our one buffer at receiver side as well as sender side, so that if data is not out of control, if data is out of control, then simply we are controlling or we are saving our data in buffer. That is one solution. In second solution, in stop and wait protocol, what we are doing, simply uh, we are sending one data and then we will wait for 1 minute or 2 minutes till receiver will acknowledge that particular data. But that stop and wait protocol is very we can say inefficient, right? Because whenever sender is sending some data, after that it will wait for acknowledgement, one acknowledgement, then it's useless, right? Because every time they have to wait for acknowledgement, so it's not good. So that's why some other protocol are uh, there to you for efficiency purpose. So, and that stop and wait protocol is used for only noiseless channel, but ideally noiseless channel is not possible, right? So today we'll discuss some of the protocol of noisy channel. Whenever channel is noisy in real life, we are only noisy channel are there, right? So that's why we'll discuss this protocol on noisy channel. Now, whenever we are dealing with noisy channel protocol, four protocol are there: stop and wait, go back and selective repeat, and piggybacking. Piggybacking is basically not in protocol, but whenever we are combine the acknowledgement, means let's say sender is sending three packets at a time. So now receiver will send acknowledgement of all three packets at a time. Means they are simply combining the acknowledgement and sending. That concept we can call as piggybacking. So piggybacking is not the protocol, but it's a simple and concept when receiver is giving acknowledgement for more than one packet at a time. Now, what is this ARQ, ARQ, ARQ? Everywhere ARQ is there. ARQ means automatic repeat request. Means after some time, after timeout timer, that request is repeated. I'll discuss in detail. Let's say here in stop and wait protocol, I already discussed what we are doing in stop and wait. Sender is sending some data, receiver is received that and acknowledgement. That is simple, we can call as uh, stop and wait. So both error control and flow control are happening over here. All of this protocol are at, we are dealing with data link layer. So on data link layer, for error correction we are using CRC mostly. CRC you all know, right? Cyclic redundancy check. So the stop and wait protocol we are using for both the purpose. In background we are using CRC for error check, and for flow control we are using this stop and wait ARQ. So I already discussed in previous lecture that uh, in stop and wait, if I add timeout timer plus, in stop and wait, if I'll add timeout timer, means at the center side, center will maintain one timeout timer. After that, if acknowledgement is not coming in that particular time, then after that, sender will send that particular data to receiver. Means sender is simply repeating the data, because sender will assume that my data is lost somewhere, so that's why sender is again sending that data. So it will maintain some timeout timer for lost data, right? If data is lost, then sender is assuming that data is lost and sending it again. Second number is sequence number. Means what? Sequence number means what? Whenever we are transmitting some data, at that time we are giving numbering to our data. Why? Because at the receiver side, let's say after this timeout timer, sender send packet 1. After the timeout timer, sender is again sending the packet 1. Now receiver will receive both the packets, means packet 1 and duplicate of packet 1. So receiver will understand that duplicate of packet 1 is actually a packet 2. So receiver will process like this. So that's why sender is sending sequence number to that data for lost acknowledgement, right? Now second one is sequence number of acknowledgement. Why this is required? Let's say sender is sending one data 1, right? Now I am giving a numbering to my data or packet also, right? So packet 1 sender is sending. Now in between, receiver received the data, receiver acknowledged that particular, that packet 1 is received by me. Okay, now in between that, acknowledgement packet is not lost, but it is delayed. So what will happen at the receiver side? It is acknowledgement, but it is acknowledged, already acknowledged that I received the packet 1. Now sender is sending again that data 1, because within that timeout timer, that acknowledgement is not received by the receiver, right? So that's why that data packet 1 is again, sender is sending and receiver is receiving. Receiver is acknowledgement done. This acknowledgement is already received by the receiver. Now at the third time, sender is sending data packet 2. Now data packet 2 is also received by the receiver, or the data packet is lost. Now that delayed acknowledgement of first packet will arrive. So sender will understand that maybe data packet 2 is received by the receiver. So to reduce this kind of concept or this kind of scenario, we are using this sequence number of acknowledgement. Means what? In acknowledgement, receiver is simply saying that next expected packet. So receiver is simply keeping the number as next expected packet. Let's say packet 1 or frame 1 is received by the receiver. Now what it will do, it will, in acknowledgement number is acknowledgement 2, not acknowledgement 1. Acknowledgement 1 is already received. Next frame number it will keep over here, right? So whenever with stop and wait, I am adding this concept: timeout timer plus sequence number of data plus sequence number of uh, our acknowledgement packet. At that time, we can call as stop and wait ARQ. ARQ means what? Automatic repeat request. Means what? Automatic repeat request means after this timeout timer, that request is automatically repeated. Now if I want to calculate the efficiency, okay, that I'll discuss later for each and every protocol. Now, second protocol is sliding window protocol. Have you seen a sliding window? What do you mean by sliding window? In day-to-day life, we are using, right? If I want to say sliding window, right? This is
Hello, ma'am.
sliding. This is sliding window, right? Yes, no. Means one by one. Let's say if window is open, so both the doors are here, right? So one by one, it is closing, and likewise, data is sending from center side to receiver side. That we can call as sliding window. I'll discuss one by one what is sliding window in our computer network term. Now it is used for error. It is also an error control. Why everyone is joining after 17 minutes? It's okay. Now it is error control as well as flow control protocol. Means basically it will reduce the error as well as flow control at sender and receiver side. Now two types of sliding window protocol are there. First one is go back and second one is selective repeat protocol. And whenever we are dealing with sliding window, two parameters we have to consider. First one is sequence number, number of number given to each outbound frames. Means whatever frame or packet I am sending, I am giving number. And what is the limit? 0 to 2 raised to n minus 1. That is the limit of our sequence number. Next one is sliding window. Means what? Buffer. It is basically a buffer. Buffer, we are maintaining both the sides, sender side as well as receiver side. Now, maximum size of a sliding window is also 2 raised to n minus 1. And 0 to any number we can assume, but it should be in 2 raised to power, right? Now, here I took an example or a representation or diagram of sliding window. This is sliding window at sender side. Now, here I am considering n is equal to 4. If I put this 4 value in my equation, then what will happen? 2 raised to 4 minus 1 means what? 15. So my window size is 15, right? So let's say this is 13, 14, 15, 0 to 15 as well as 0, 1, 2, 3. What is this exactly? This is 13, 14, 15 means what? Already acknowledged packet. This packet is sent through sender to receiver and this is already acknowledged packet. Now, if my SF is here, what is SF? SF is pointer. Basically, this is one pointer and SN is also one pointer. Now, SF is used for the frame that we are going to send. That for that purpose, I am using this pointer. So this is send but not acknowledgement. This is from SF to SN. This 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 till 5 we send, but till now it is not acknowledgement. And what is this SN? Means fifth number frame, means what? Next frame to be sent. This is already sent but not acknowledged. This frame, this frame is we are going to send. So understood the difference? This previous one, before SN frames are already sent, already acknowledged. Between SF and SN means what? That frame is already sent, and for that I kept one timeout timer. So till now the timeout timer is not expired. So I am waiting for acknowledgement from receiver side. And this SN means what? I am waiting. This is the next frame that I am going to send. It will reach till here only 50. And after that, because my window size is 0 to 50, so this 1 to 5 is I sent, but I'm waiting for acknowledgement, and 5 to 15. 10 frames means what? That I'm going to send. It's in waiting mode, right? So one by one, I'll send in this sequence only. And what is this next? 0, 1, 2, 3. Frame that cannot be sent because this is a part of upper layer. That frame till now not arrived. This is a simply we can say it is a time slot. Means simply we are keeping it blank. Whenever that frame will arrive, we will send one by one, right? So this is a sender side sliding window, how they'll maintain. So basically like a window, it will slide one by one. So SN will slide to 6, 7, 8, 9, one by one it will slide. Means whenever sender will send the data, that slider will slide. And same way, SF will also slide like this. Why? Let's say I'll get acknowledgement from packet for packet 1, then it will slide, SF will slide from 0 to 1, then 2, 3. Let's say in between some packet acknowledgement is arrived. Let's say for packet 1 acknowledgement is not arrived. For packet 3 acknowledgement is arrived. Now what will happen? Sender will send for packet 1 first. If packet 1's acknowledgement is arrived, then and then it will slide. In between, if packet 3 acknowledgement is arrived, then also it will not slide, because one by one only it will check. If acknowledgement arrived, simply it will move, right? So basically it is sliding, right? So that's why we can call this concept as a sliding window. Means our SN means whatever frame I want to send, that also slide, and SF means send but acknowledgement is required, that also slide. So that's why this concept we can call as sliding window. And sender window size is 2 raised to n minus 1. So 0 to 15 is my sender window size. So one by one, this sender window is moving or sliding. Now at the receiver side, some other scenario is maintained. What is this? Receiver window means At the receiver side, we are maintaining one buffer, or we can say receiver window. So this is before RN, frame already received an acknowledgement. So for this, everything is done, right? Received as well as acknowledgement. RN means what? Receiver window. Always size of the receiver window is always one. Why? One by one receiver can receive. It cannot receive like 4 or 5 frames at a time. One by one it will receive. So receiver window size is always one. After that, frame that cannot be received. So this is we are keeping separate for future purpose, right? One by one we can receive and we can acknowledge. So this is acknowledged. This is receiver window. Receiver window size is always one, and this is for future purpose I'm keeping, right? So any query in this sender window and receiver window? Simply I explain sliding window. At the sender side, 3 concepts are there. First one, before SF part is already acknowledged, already sent, already acknowledged. SF to SN means what? Sent but till now not acknowledged. SN to till frame size. This means 5 to 15 means what? We are going to send, right? And 0 to onwards means what? Next frame means what? Till now we are not till now we are not received, right? Or from upper layers, right? At the receiver side, center window size is 2 raised to n minus 1. At the receiver side, only receiver window size is 1, right? One by one I can accept the frame. So this is before RN, already received, already acknowledgement. RN means what? Whatever I'm going to receive. And after RN, that after RN means what? For future purpose I'm keeping, right? Now, next one is go back in. I already discussed over here that 2 types are there of sliding window, right? Go back in plus go back in and selective repeat, right? Now, what is go back in? First of all, this sliding window concept is clear for all? Yes, no? Sliding window, how it will slide sender side as well as receiver side? Okay, I'm assuming that it's clear. Now go back in means timer is maintained for SF. SF means what? That frame we already sent but till now not this. SF means what? That frame we already sent but not acknowledged by the receiver, right? So here at SF we are maintaining timer. Now, if within that time we are not getting the acknowledgement, then what will happen? If timer expire, whole frame discarded, and again we are sending that whole frame. Means let's say my timer is here at 0, right? The timer of frame 0 is expired. Now what will happen? This all 0 to 50, all frame I'll discard and I'll send it again. So this is not the efficient way basically, right? Because why should I again send this frame as well as future frames? Future frames, okay, but this frame is already sent, and let's say for 3 and 4, frame number 3 and from 4, I'm getting the acknowledgement. Then why should I again send that particular data, right? But this is the scenario that go back n means what? N means our slider side or our sliding window side, right? So here, let's say here it is go back 15 because our sliding window size is 15, right? So this is not the efficient way. Every time I'm sending the entire frame. If something is happened in my frame, then I'm discarding all the packets in my frame and I'm again loading that packets and again I'm sending. Now, if window is full, in this scenario, in sliding window concept, if window is full, then simply we are discarding or ignoring the packet. So this is not the efficient way. Next one is in go backend, if I'm keeping sender window as well as receiver window as one, then it will react like stop and wait ARQ. Now, this is go backend is not that much efficient, you all know, right? Because every time we are discarding our packet and sending that all packets or all sliding window again. Now we are concluding or coming to next selective repeat ARQ protocol. Means here what we are doing, sender will only send one frame which is damaged. Means sender will send only the number that fourth frame is not received by me, fifth frame is not received by me. Likewise, only one number it will send it to me, right? And that particular number or that particular frame only I am sending it back, not that whole sliding window, right? So this is the efficient, right? Whatever is damaged or whatever is not received by the receiver, simply I am sending that particular frame or particular packet, right? So this is the efficient solution. Go backend was not at all efficient. But in noiseless channel, we can say that go backend is okay, but noiseless channel is ideally not exist. So that's why selective repeat is useful in noisy channel, right? Now, so in selective repeat also, small window means more efficiency. Why? Because my window size is small, then I can easily find out that which packet is not damaged or which packet is not received by me. So quickly I can send the response to sender that this particular frame is not received by me. So kindly send it, right? So if my window size is small, then efficiency is more. Now, if I want to calculate the size of the window, it should be in 2 raised to n divided by 2. It is useful for all three scenarios, sliding window as well as go backend as well as selective repeat. 2 raised to n divided by 2 means what? 2 raised to n here in our previous example, I consider n is equal to 4, right? So 2 raised to 4 divided by 2 means likewise I have to calculate my size of the window. Now, piggybacking approach I already discussed. Piggybacking means simply what? Simply I am acknowledging for 2-3 packets. But piggybacking should be faster, because if timeout timer is expired at the sender side, then no point of this piggybacking. And if we are using go backend, then it will create disaster, right? Because it will send all the clean packets again and again and again, right? So it should be faster. Whenever I'm acknowledging for 2-3 packets, it should be faster. And this stop and wait is useful for noisy channel, right? Now, whenever we are using the selective repeat, at that time what will happen at the receiver side, we have to maintain some shorting algorithm. Why? Because at the receiver side we have to find that which packet is not received or which frame is damaged. So for that I have to use some algorithm also. So it is bit complex. You all know, right? In that you are learning some algorithm, right? So that kind of sorting algorithm we have to manage at the receiver side in selective repeat for calculating that first, second, third, fourth, which packet is missing, right? Now I'll I'll show you the efficiency or equation of all these protocols. First one is simple stop and wait. So channel utilization equation or efficiency equation is transmission delay divided by transmission delay plus 2 times propagation delay. How I'm calculating this transmission delay, propagation delay, that I explained in previous lecture or previous video. Please go through that. In stop and wait, how we are calculating this transmission delay and transmission delay, propagation delay, that I already explained there, right? So stop and wait efficiency I calculated there. Likewise, stop and wait ARQ is there. ARQ means what? Automatic repeat request, means in that I'm adding timer as well as data packet number as well as acknowledgement number, right? So after that, channel utilization is 1 minus P transmission delay plus 2 times propagation delay. So what is, if I want to write 2 times propagation delay, we can call as RTT, means round trip time. Propagation, 2 times propagation delay simply means what? Sender is sending something to receiver and receiver is sending again to sender. So one time propagation delay from sender to receiver and second time from receiver to sender. So two times if I'll calculate propagation delay, then it will give me RTT, round trip time, means whole time of one packet, right? And P is what? Probability of frame error. Means if I want to calculate the probability of frame error, then it should be 1 minus P. Now, stop and wait piggybacking. Means if I use that piggybacking approach, then what will happen? Channel utilization is 2 times. Everywhere I have to multiply by 2. Because in piggybacking, mostly we are assuming that till two packet I am sending the acknowledgement. Means at a time I am sending acknowledgement for two packets, right? So two times transmission delay, two times transmission delay plus two times propagation delay. So simply it is a RTP, right? Now sliding window protocol. All this concept or efficiency channel utilization equations are useful in competitive exam. In this VTU exam, maybe they will not ask, but in this competitive exam, directly they can ask equation for this, or they can give some values, and you have to calculate channel utilization every time. Now, for sliding window protocol, if I want to calculate optimal window size, then it should be RTT divided by TD. What is RTT? 2 times propagation delay divided by TD, right? So transmission delay. So if directly they'll give me a propagation delay as well as transmission delay, I can calculate optimal window size. Now, next one is center window size. It should be 1 plus RTT upon TD. Channel utilization in sliding window, it should be A multiplied by transmission delay upon 2 times propagation delay. What is this A? A means 1 plus RTT upon TD. Now in GoBacon, channel utilization is in terms of N. N means here I used my sender window size is 15. So same thing, go back 15, right? So here my N is 15. So channel utilization is 15 multiplied by transmission delay plus 2 times propagation delay, we can call as RTT, right? So any queries over here? I think no. Now next protocol is HDLC. And full form of HDLC is high level data link control. If you have any query in between, you can ask me. That's why we are conducting this live sessions. So you can ask queries, right? Yes, no. Now HDLC protocol. I'll simply give, I'll not go in that much detail for this HDLC protocol. Simply, I'll give you a glimpse about this HDLC protocol. Now, full form of HDLC is high level data link control, because this HDLC, I think it's not there in your syllabus. According to your revised syllabus, HDLC is not there. But according to previous syllabus, HDLC is most IMP question. In every exam, they are asking this explain HDLC in 5 marks. So that's why, according to new syllabus, it's not there. But still, I don't want to take any risk. So that's why I'm explaining it, or I'm giving you the glimpse. In detail, I'm not explaining, but I'm giving you the glimpse of this HDLC protocol. So please understand. So first one is high level data link control. That is a full form of our HDLC protocol. It is created by ISO. ISO, you all know, right? Whatever is created by our OSI model and TCP/IP, same organization is created this HDLC protocol. It is a bit oriented protocol. You all know what is bit oriented and what is byte oriented, right? So one by one bit I'm sending in bit oriented protocol. Next one, HDFC protocol has 3 types of stations. First one is primary station, second one is secondary station, and third one is combined station. Means mostly primary station means what? Sender. Secondary station means receiver, and third one combined means receiver can also be a sender. Means whenever receiver is sending a acknowledgement frame, at that time receiver is sender, right? So this is combined station. Now following three modes are there whenever we are dealing with HDL FC. First one is normal response mode, second one is asynchronous response mode, third one is asynchronous balance mode. Now what is in normal mode? One by one I'll give you a basic idea about these modes and everything, right? So normal response mode means what suitable for point to point as well as point to multi-point connection. Means in normal response mode only primary station, means our sender is take all the responsibility, and it is having more authorities as compared to secondary and combined station, right? Second one, asynchronous response mode means what? Communication between sender and primary and secondary station, and secondary station can also respond anytime. Means in normal response mode, only sender can respond, but in asynchronous response mode, sender and receiver both can respond at a time, or means both can take a responsibility, half, right? Now in third, asynchronous balance mode, application to point communication between combined station, right? Means what? Basically it is used, or we can call as it is a balanced one. Means mostly it is used in point to point as well as in all of these approaches combined over here in asynchronous balance mode. Means what? Sender can send anytime, receiver can receive anytime, both can take the decision, plus all the control information is also equally shared. Means in first mode only sender is responsible, but over here both are responsible, both can send a packet anytime, both can acknowledgement. In second mode, only receiver is sending the acknowledgement, but not that much responsible for everything, but here both are equally responsible. Now structure of HDLC or frame structure. First one is flag bit. You all know, right? What is flag bit? 0 followed by 5 1 and 0. Same flag structure I'm following over here. Flag, after that address, after that control bit, information or data, whatever we want to send, after that FCS. Now this frame we can call as information transfer frame. Three types of frame are there: I frame, U frame, as well as S frame. So this is I frame, means information frame, whatever data I'm sending or information I'm sending. So that's why it's an information frame. So first one is flag bit, after that address bit, means a receiver or destination address, after that control bit, it is used for controlling purpose, after that information field, and then FCS, frame check response, means for error checking we are using this, after that flag bit, right? So mostly CRC we are using as a part of FCS. Now S frame. S frame means what? Supervisory frame. Mostly whenever I want to establish the connection or controlling, I want to transfer controlling information, not my information. At that time, I'm using this supervisory frame. So flag, address, control, FCS, as well as flag, right? So in control bit, 00 means what? If in control bit 00 is means what? Receiver is ready. 01 is reject frames. 10 is receiver not ready. 11 means what? Selective reject frame, right? So some selected frames I am rejecting. So this is about S frame. Next one is U frame. U frame is used for management information only. Means between this is basically point to point. Whenever we are dealing with point to point approach, at that time we are using this U frame, right? So flag, address, control plus management information. If I want to, let's say some congestion is occurred in my system, or some network related information, if I want to pass, at that time I'm using this U frame. Means let's say at next station or intermediate station some congestion occurred, so at that time I'm informing my all the station that at particular station congestion occurred, so please slow down. Likewise, if I want to inform my nearby station, at that time I'm using this Uframe. Now next one is point-to-point protocol in next class. Means most probably tomorrow I'll discuss this point-to-point protocol. Now any query till now, whatever I discussed, noisy channel protocols, stop and wait, go back and then stop and wait ARQ, go back and sliding window as well as selective repeat protocol. After that I discussed HTLC and point to point I'll discuss tomorrow. Any query till now?